girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done. Girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I like the girls with their nails done.
All right, good morning, guys. Welcome. This light is just way too bright. How we doing? Welcome back. All right. Happy Friday. Welcome to the stream. 8 o'clock. Morning, Chef. Morning, Golf. BSA. Carlos. Margin, as always. Ponzi. Jacob. Bruce. Morning, everyone. Larry. Press that like button. Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. What a beautiful day it is. A little bit of NFL football last night. Guess who I have on my fantasy team? Xavier Worthy. Pretty happy about it. Pretty happy about it. All right. It is WOP, W-H-O-P. So if you joined WOMP, I'm not sure what you joined. And you don't get a Discord invite, it's in your account. When you sign into WOP, you go straight into WOP and you press connect account. Let's see if I can show you live. Happy Friday. Welcome back. Good morning, Vietnam. That's right. WOMP. All right. 1 second. So, All right, we're going to go to WAP.com. Right, WAP.com. We're going to go to the top right. Who's calling me at this time? We're going to go to the top right. We're going to go to Hub. Then we're going to go ahead and click on Options Insider. And then we're going to go ahead and go to membership options. And then we're going to go to whatever we signed up for. And we're going to connect our Discord account right there. Very easy. All right. Screenshot it, save it, reverse it, rewind it. It's about 3 buttons. And that's about all I can help you with. All right. So, welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great day. Hope everyone had a good day yesterday. Another nice little fader of a day yesterday. Nice push up into that little 19,140 area on the NASDAQ futures. Nice little opportunity to fade that in the afternoon. Little fade in the afternoon as well off the 20 SMA on the ES, which is where I caught it, or on the SPY. And yeah, just a pretty nice. I mean, if you just stayed, with this channel, another nice little fader day, a little bit of upside off the demand lows. So pretty much just another channel day, man. But I've done a little bit better this week of just sort of trusting those channel levels and trading with them, and that has definitely been a good week so far for me. I've really only traded 2 days, 2 days, just Wednesday, Thursday. I didn't get to take advantage of that Tuesday downside. But today looks pretty nice. Today we're looking at maybe a little bit of a retest rejection out there. So there's definitely some things to be watching out there today, I think. Some opportunities. So excited for it. We also have some economic data today. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. The economic data of the day is average hourly earnings, the non-farm employment change, and the unemployment rate. That is all at 8:30 this morning. So about 25 minutes. And we are going to see probably a pretty interesting move there. I would assume there's something of a move here on the market because of that. So let's be aware of that at 8:30. After that, 8:45, you got an FOMC member speaking. And then 11 o'clock, you got another FOMC member speaking. Waller speaking at 11, which it says has high impact. So yeah, I'd be a little bit cautious there around 11 o'clock. All right. So pre-market here, we'll have some employment data, and then FOMC member Waller speaking at 11 today. Something to be aware of there. Broadcom reported earnings last night. That was something that obviously affected the semis a little bit. But something I will point out here, the SMH is down at the 200 SMA, and I think there's more likelihood of a relief bounce here than there is a dive bomb through the 200 SMA. So I'd be a little bit cautious getting more aggressive on the shorts on the semiconductors today. I would assume there's something of a battle here around this 215 and this 200 SMA. And if there is, maybe there's just a little relief bounce back towards here and then maybe another rejection. But regardless, you don't want to be short here if there's a relief bounce here, right? So be careful of this 200 SMA on the semis. Could cause maybe just a little bit of a hold, right? A little bit of a hold that you just don't want to be shorting into. We don't want to short into holes, and I think that's a short into a hole for now. So just be aware of that. All right. Okay. Let's go over the NASDAQ futures. Very clear level today. Am I holding any swings? I've been holding SPY puts since Wednesday at 555. So I entered SPY puts right here, and I haven't sold them. So there's really no reason to sell them. It's the exact highest point of the downside structure. So if you get above it, then this whole idea breaks down. So I'm just holding some small ones. All right. NASDAQ. So very clear. We have this very clear supply zone at the 19,140 to 19,200. We saw rejections there yesterday. We saw previous lows here. We saw some rejections there on Wednesday. It's anywhere between that 19,140 and 19,200. Looks like it continues to be very, very difficult to get above. Right? We have the 100 SMA at 19.2. We have these very clear rejections at 19,140. If you get a push into this level again, it's another potential fade move. So be aware of that. Now, right now, as we speak, you are doing a little retest possible rejection of 18,825. That is very interesting to me, right? Take a look at this. 18,825, previous triple bottom low there, previous lows here from Thursday, previous little low here from the after hour session, and you have broken it. You have come back higher into it, and you are now just sort of sitting right under it. This would be, man, if this sets up, this would be something special. I'm not sure if it will. It's very short term, right? This is sort of just pre-market action, so I'm not that trusting in it as of yet, especially with this economic data this morning, which could sort of send this higher. Or maybe it's the one, maybe it's the economic data that, really shows that this is a retest rejection. Either way, this is a very interesting spot today. You have the very clear previous lows that have held this market up over the last 2 days that we flushed below. We have found a little bit of a consolidation, and we're sort of grinding back higher into. This could really be a sexy one. I would love to see if that sets up, right? One of these, a little rejection here at the previous hold levels. That is what we basically did up here. That could be sick. So I'd look for it. That's something I'm definitely watching today. That's definitely a big watch for me. If you get over 18,825, you have to retire the short side in the short term, in my opinion, right? You don't want to be shorting today if we reclaim Thursdays and Wednesdays lows. All right, if we reclaim Thursdays and Wednesdays lows at 18,825, I would not be looking to aggressively short this market. That would be an important reclaim, and it could just sort of keep us higher into end of week. Now, if we turn this into rejections, this is a special short entry that could, I think, drive us down into our ultimate target of that 200 SMA, right? So really, really interesting. And you can see right now, we are starting to see that retest rejection start to, sort of get heavy up here. So be aware of this. This is an interesting spot here on the NASDAQ futures. But let's review it again after the economic data, right? Let's review it again after the economic data. QQQ, the level is 457. Actually, it's maybe a little bit higher, but I think it's, right around that 457. It could be a little bit higher up to like the, let me go ahead and put a level there. It might be like up into that 457.60, right? So I'm going to put this zone here, actually. 457 to, I don't know, this is 457 to 457.60. Did I do that right? Yeah. So, yeah, right? You can see right here. Here's your low, 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 right? Bam, bam. This is what I definitely would be watching today, right? Very aggressive shorts coming in actually right now as we speak, right at that level, man. So that is very interesting. If we get over 457.60, which is this very clear low from this entire Wednesday and Thursday move, then I think you retire the longs, or the shorts, right? Same exact idea. If you get over the Thursday low, if you get over the Wednesday low, I would not be looking to short this market, right? So 457.60, very clear, very nice. I would want to see us above that for any type of relief move. And to be quite honest, guys, the relief is not anything that I'd look to long because I just don't know if I really want to long into this. But you can look for those scalps off 457.60 to the upside. You just got to be careful of the 100 SMA. You got to be careful of this 464. The clean trade today would be a break of the downside lows, break of that structure point, give us a retest entry, and fade us down into the pivot, right, down into the 450. That would really be the trade that we want, right? That would really be the trade that we want. So, yeah, that's definitely something I'm watching. You can see right here, 457.60, 457.60, 457. And I'm going to watch that level today for the retest rejection on the Qs. All right? Very nice. ES. S&P 500. Very, very clear here. Extremely clear. Previous high here, 54.93, right? 54.93 right there. And then if we go to the short term, look at this. Look at this. 54.93, 54.93 yesterday. Break, retest. If we retest and reject 54.93 today, I love that short. Love it. Right here. Look at that double bottom. Look how this could be a break, this little flush, this little grind higher back into it. That could be the short that brings us into the 54.40. Now, of course, guys, I'm not an idiot. I understand this. Economic data comes out in about 15 minutes. So everything I'm talking about can be heavily invalidated off of economic data. That's to be expected. But if all things stay the same, I think this is a very interesting break and retest rejection at 54.93. This is absolutely something I'd be watching today. 54.93 retest rejection. And if we get a little bit higher over that, then I still would be watching this 55.15 as well. You guys can see right here, 55.15, 15, 15, 15, right there. All these previous lows, and then you can see how that turned into some highs here in the after-hour session. So anywhere between this 54.93, that would be the really clean retest rejection. Above that, I would be watching this 55.15. That's very clear as well. If you do clear out both of those supplies, then you're probably going to be looking for this to sort of trade back higher into maybe that 50 SMA, that 20 SMA, maybe up into that double top rejection zone around 55.70. So I'm definitely most interested in this, right? If we don't get this, then I probably would stay a little bit away for the early morning session. This would really be the cleanest morning trade, right? If we can just get a nice, maybe market open sitting right under this and then, get that little fade, that could be really sick stuff. So definitely going to watch that 54.93 on the ES. On SPY, you guys can see right here on SPY, it's 548 to 547, like 20. Let me see if do I have the wrong? No, yeah, okay. So let me go ahead and zoom in on this 5-minute chart. If I can get the TOS to zoom in, that'd be great. Wow. Come on, TOS. Oh my God, I love when it does this. You have to draw a line, right? We have to draw a line to make it happy, and then it'll zoom in for me. Okay. So let me go to the 15. I think the 15 sees it a little bit better. Here's the 15 on the SPY, and I see anywhere between. So definitely the 547.20 area. That is this low. I'm going to grab this entire zone. It's a little bit sloppier on the SPY here. Let me go ahead and look back for a second. So you are holding the very important gap fill level. Let me delete this for a second. Let me go, actually, you know what? Yeah, let me talk about that first. Let me talk about the gap fill first. Here's the daily chart on the SPY, okay? So daily chart on the SPY, and the gap fill, right? The gap fill on the SPY is right here. It's the high of this candle, which is 545, okay? The high of this candle is 545. Let me go ahead and put that on the charts. 545. And that is a very important gap fill level. So I'm going to put that on the right. I'm going to make this line yellow. I'm just going to make it like dashed maybe, just so I know it's very important, right? That level right there, that's the gap fill level. That's 545. And so you can see this morning, right? Look at what the SPY did. This morning, if we look at this 30-minute chart, you can see the SPY did perfectly fill that gap, right? So that's sort of interesting, all right? You came right down into that gap fill level, and you sort of held it. So that's number one. That's the first thing I want to make apparent here. That could be a reason the market does not drop any further to the downside, right? So, yeah, I mean, you could say it's at the close price, which is 543.75. So if you want to see it to be at the close price, maybe. But I would expect there to be some support at the highs. of that candle, which is 545, right? Because you also have, right, some of these previous highs over here. That's the same exact thing. So it could be 545, it could be 543.50, it could be anywhere in there. But technically, you are holding some of that gap fill level. That's something I would be paying attention to here. That's number one. So 545 is definitely on my charts. You can see it on my charts right here, right? 545 gap fill. And then the 543.50. I have both of those levels on the chart, right there. You can see both of those levels on the chart. Now, if I go to this 30-minute, you can see in here, right, this little 547 to 548 zone, I think, has some area of concern for that little retest rejection, right? I'd be aware of that. Above that, I'd just be watching this 50 SMA, right? You can see how the market rejected that 50 SMA yesterday, how it sort of held above it here, turned it into rejections here. I'd be watching that 549.15. I'm going to go ahead and put a level there. It's right around that 5.4. I'm just going to put it at 549 for myself. So 549 and the 50 SMA, I think, is a little bit of a tough spot to, get above. Now, I would be watching that. If we get above, right, if the SPY can really bounce through this low, hold above yesterday's lows, sort of hold above the 50, then that would be my, reason to no longer look for that short, because you'd now be holding that major, in my opinion, demand low, right? You don't want to short on a reclaim of this previous day low, right? So if we do reclaim this zone here, if we do reclaim back above, I'd say 548, then I'm really not interested in shorting into this zone, right? Because that could be another hold of that Thursday low, and that could just sort of grind this market higher, maybe back into that 555 zone for another short. But the short would only start to get interested after, that grind higher. I don't want to be shorting at these Thursday lows. So a lot of it's going to depend on what this job data looks like, right? If we go back to the ES, we can see, I think the ES is very clear here. I think it makes for very clear levels here. This 549, 54.93, right? I like that. You can see that's where the dive bomb came in this morning, right under that level, right under these previous day lows. And so I'm just going to really watch this like a hawk today, right? Do we stay below this? Do we stay below this, or do we reclaim it? That's the question that we need to answer, okay? All right. Go to the IWM real quick. IWM tried to hold that 211 level yesterday, but failed, and you are now down into the 210. You are now down into the 210. So 210 and 212 are your levels to watch here. 210, which is where you're at right now, and 212, which is where you broke down yesterday. What's my SPY bias? It's not so much about a bias, guys. It's about the structure of the market. So right now, it's a very clean structuring market. I mean, the structure is to the downside. You have this. We talk about this all the time, guys, right? This is the exact same thing we talk about almost every single day on this live stream, right? You went highs, right, and you kept on making new highs, creating the previous highs as new lows, right? And you kept on structuring higher, okay? A little bit of this, upside, a little bit of this, upside, a little bit of this, upside, right? You are structuring the market higher. Now, what happened? It changed, right? You had this, which turned into this, down, previous lows into new highs, and today is no different, right? We broke the lows again. So if this turns into new highs, this is going to do the same exact thing that it did over here, and it's going to do the exact same thing, right? Look, that's how the market moves. Right here, right there, right there, right? Very clear, right? That is a very clear market structure. Look at this. Look at how the previous lows here have turned into the double top highs of the week, right? That is the cleanest thing you can look at. Look at that right there, turning into this right here. That is this into this. That is structure 1, structure 2, right? Look how clear this step down is. So as long as that is in place, then you have to look for these levels to turn into rejection points. If this breaks, right, if this gets back above and we hold above this, then hey, back to the upside we go. All right, if we get back above this low and we get back above this 55.70, then okay, back we go, right, to the upside. So very clear right now to just sort of stay on the side of what the trend is. But obviously, let's take a look at what this data looks like in about 7 minutes, right? All right. Dow Jones rejected the 41,100, and we are now sitting right at these lows. What are these lows right here? It's like 680. Yeah, you can see. I would just watch these lows right here, guys. If you're watching the Dow on this Thursday right here, you can see we're sort of just sitting at those lows. So I'd be watching these lows from that Thursday. Thursday, August 22nd. All right? I'd keep an eye on that. Okay? All right, let's move on. So, press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. We have 2,000 people here, 500 likes. We have people that are screaming in the chat to look at stocks when we obviously look at the futures every single morning at the same exact time every single morning, but we still are screaming about looking at stocks before. And then we're also not pressing the like button at the same time. So it's like give me everything, and I don't want to give you anything in return. I could be in bed right now. Press the like button. Help me out. Ayúdame. All right. Here we go. So, Tesla. Very nice. 226 yesterday. What a beautiful hold to that 222, right? That was a sick hold yesterday, early morning. We talked about that 222. That was awesome. What a squeeze off that level, man. What an absolute squeeze right off that level. 222. After we got above that 226, and it was pretty much just a squeeze, right? That was the morning squeeze on Tesla. The hold at 222 was sick. The 50 SMA hold, bam, right? Squeezer. Now, we got up into our exact 236, and what a fade that was, man. And I'm sort of upset I didn't take it. In the short term, at least, because, we knew that was there, right? 236 was sick. 236, awesome, right? Really, really, really nice. 236 level that gave us a nice short-term downside opportunity yesterday after the squeeze. We knew that supply was there, and so that was nice as well, right? We saw the 222 hold. We saw the 226 pre-market high break. We got a squeeze into the 226, which was a 236, which gave us a fade. Came back down to the 226, and is definitely seeming to hold, right? So for now, I would watch the 230, right? I would watch the 230. You can see right here, 230. I'd watch for those rejections. I'd be careful of those rejections today. If you get above 230, I'd be very careful longing into 236. That is definitely a big spot up there. If you get over 236, then this thing's going higher, right? This thing's going higher. So 236, I'd watch that very closely. It could either be a nice double top rejection if the market stay weak, or if the market heats up, right? This could be a huge breakout for Tesla over that level. I'd want to see a hold over 230, and I'd want to see Tesla continue to maintain that 226, 222, and just sort of structure this move higher, right? Keep on structuring higher. So 222, 219, 226 are all pullback levels that I'd be watching on Tesla in the short term here. All right, let's go to Nvidia. Nvidia is in the same channel that it has been. You have very clear to 110 and the 100 SMA, and you have a very clear 104 demand that continues to hold, right? This thing has pretty much just held within this 6-point range all week. There was a little bit of a new level that showed up yesterday, a little bit of a new opponent to Nvidia, and that is 107.60. This thing was so clear yesterday. All day we had very clear rejections at 107.60. So I would be careful there today, 107.60. I'd be looking to see if that fails, right? If it does, be careful of that sort of retest and rejection, this supply rejection. If you get above this 107.60 today, I think that's a very clear sign of upside into the 110 again. So very big here, but very clear levels. 107.60, 110, nice two clear levels, 100 SMA there. And then that 104 demand just really stepping up. I mean, really stepping up. All right, look at this 30-minute chart on Nvidia. See this 104 level? If Nvidia breaks that 104 level, guys, that's no bueno, right? That is no bueno. Under that 104, then we are. I think you're definitely going to start to see the low 100s, like the 100, maybe the 97. That's if you break 104. But for now, you are not. So can't anticipate it yet, but I will watch it. Right? You can very clearly see how clear that 104 low is. So if we do get a nice little breakdown on the SMEs again, and we see this rejection, this could be a great watch. So big time watch 104 Nvidia. All right, so we got data in 1 minute here, and you are pretty much right at the retest level into data. So that is very interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. You're right into the economic. You're right into the data. You're right into the retest level on the economic data here, which is, I mean, did you expect anything less? So this is huge. Economic data in about 30 seconds, and you are right at the previous day lows, right? Right at this major, I think, 18,825 level. Let's see how it reacts. Let's see how it reacts. If we get above it or if we fail below it, that is going to be the key here. This is the big spot of the day, no doubt. So 10 seconds here. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam. Bam, bam, all over the place. Little up, little down. Oh, big up. Okay. It's sort of holding. Sort of not. I mean, I think it's going to hold after breaking through that low. So now we have to watch for that low to hold, right? Now we have to be careful of that low holding. So 18,825 is now the must-hold level, right? We have to hold that low. If we do not hold that low, that is concerning here. If this fails right back below it, that's no bueno. So you'd really like to... Wow, this is really coming back down, huh? Wow. Oh, look at this 1 minute... Oh, look. All right, that's crazy. That's crazy. Look at that 1 minute candle. It closed right under that zone. Wow. Okay. So this is big. This is going to be a big spot here. Look at this. Look at this action going on right underneath our exact level. So the market squeezed through, closed under 18,825, and is now rejecting it. So this is a huge spot. That's the spot right there. That's the spot. Looks like 457.60 on Qs. Yeah, ES 54.93. SPY 548. Yeah. So we got to see if it holds above or if it stays below here. This is big. But I mean, I don't really think that's strong if this is starting to reject here. This feels sort of weak to me. I would expect this to, be able to hold through and get above and maintain above if there was strength here. That is an ugly looking rejection. So we'll see. We'll see. But for now, we can definitely see our level. That's for sure. That's for sure. We can definitely see our level. 18,825 on the NASDAQ futures. All right. All right. Let's continue. So we did Tesla. Got a little pop over 230, but really nothing I would trust at the moment. Those birds are loud. Damn. TLT ripping. Oh, I love that, man. God, who bought shares with me on TLT? Someone? Yeah, the TLT shares that I've been buying are looking good right now. I like that. I'm happy about that idea. All right, it looks like the market is. You are now getting back above it. So this is going to be a battle today. No doubt. It's going to be a battle around this zone. So that's going to be interesting. All right, let's continue. Tesla 230. We're watching that. Nvidia 107.60. We're watching that. AMD. Let's go to AMD. Congrats if you bought TLT, guys. We bought, I think, back in the low 90s, maybe. I think it was actually close to the high 80s. So that was sick. I'm happy about that purchase. I think that's a good idea. There's a few reasons why I like that idea. Number one, you get, the potential of equity, of underlying value increasing. But on top of that, right, you get your dividend you get a 3.7% yield, which is pretty close to what you get at a high yield savings account. So I'm happy to keep money in the TLT, expecting equity increasing or underlying value increase. And then on top of that, a 3.7% yield. That's a good place for me to put some cash, right? I don't mind that. A little bit riskier than a high yield savings account, which is maybe getting like 4.5. That's a really bad 5. Holy crap. High yield savings account, maybe getting like 4.5 with no, right? You don't really have that risk of the underlying asset. So you get a little bit of a higher yield, but TLT, you get potentially like increasing value and the 3.7. So yeah, that's why I put money there. All right, let's continue. 136 on 136 on AMD, big low there. I would be watching that. Keep an eye on that IWM under 210. Yeah, IWM's pretty weak. Market's sort of strong though. You're seeing some strength on the market. So AMD 136, I think you probably see that potentially hold today, right? If the market does stay strong, I'd say AMD can maybe push towards that 144.50. If you do get back into that 144.50, right, I'd look for the rejections up there. What are we looking at on the SMH again? Yeah, so the SMH is getting that bounce back we talked about, right? If the SMH sort of has just sort of a non-dying day, guys, I'm going to assume there's going to be some strength on the semiconductors. At least something. I'm not saying like, oh, semis to new highs, right? I'm just saying, hey, let's not take short-term 0DTE puts on semis if the SMH is holding this 200 SMA, all right? So I'd be aware of that, please. I'd make sure you're aware that, okay, SMH down into the 200, even just a relief bounce to 230 smacks me today if I'm on the wrong side of it, right? So I would rather let this thing sort of relief higher and maybe look to see if that 230 becomes a new fade spot, right? I don't know if you want to be chasing that SMH downside. So like I don't like Nvidia shorts in the 104, right? I'd be careful of, shorting these highs, just to make sure you're really cautious before shorting these highs, right? I would not short AMD into these lows here at 136, things like that, right? Broadcom, I'd be careful of shorting Broadcom after that drop on earnings. 140 is a really big level and is holding. That's also the 200 SMA, all right? So just be aware of that. Watch out for some of those semis. Watch out for that SMH. Watch out for some of that strength. Holy shit, Tesla. Wow, this thing's got a rocket behind it lately. So I mean, happy shareholder. Unfortunately, don't have any options on it, but yeah, if Tesla gets over 236, this is big time here. This is game time over 236, guys. So 236, 236 is the level. If we get above that, you could see maybe like the 245. I'd say 245. 245.50. I think that's your next level right there. Right in there. 245.50. That's what I would watch. Yeah, 236, man. That's a big spot. So watch out for that today, right? This could just be a little fake out, right? Let's not get too emotional on it. We know that. Right, this is a nice big push in the pre-market. Could need a little bit of a gap fill before that really nice long sets up. Let's not be irrational. So we still have to respect the 236 supply, guys, right? We still got to respect this supply, no doubt. This could still fade. So I still don't want an entry right under that 236. That doesn't make for an entry point. All right. Apple 224 is the big spot to watch today. 224 on Apple. Keep an eye on that. We do have that Apple event coming next week, so be aware of that. But 224, that's that major 20 SMA. I would need this above. If you're holding above it, I don't mind that long. 224 right here. Apple 20 SMA. Where's the market at? Okay, so the market is above that channel low. So now today, right, we're looking for maybe this hold and that continuation. But you have to hold these lows, right? That's the key. All right. What else do we want to look at? Let's look at, Kava looks very interesting. I do agree with you on that. Kava, little bit of a stair step higher, right? Look at this. Kava has potentially got itself into a new channel. Look at how this is happening. So you had that, you had that stair stepping downside. You had the stair stepping downside, back to the downside. Very nice. And you potentially have now stair-stepped to a new upside, right? Look at this, 115. So I would watch 115 on Kava here. This looks very interesting. If Kava can hold 115, this could be a nice little long entry for that move into 120. That is definitely something I'd be watching here, okay? Very clear, very clean. Keep an eye on this today. 115 Kava. Meta. 523, about as clear as it can possibly be here. This level is very clean. 523 Meta, 20 SMA. It keeps getting smacked down, right? Look at yesterday's smackdown. Could be another smackdown today, right? Nothing stopping it from smacking down today. So just be careful of that 523. But if Meta can hold above 523, this could be off to the races. So make sure you watch both sides. I'm going to have that alert set at 523. I want to make sure I know if it's above it or if it's sort of just rejecting it. Definitely a big spot on Meta. Coinbase, 160 is that big level we were talking about on Coinbase. It must hold 160. Coinbase under 160 is really bad. So watch Coin 160. We talked about that yesterday. MicroStrategy, it's right at the 200 SMA. That's really it, right? Right at the 200. So if you like crypto to bounce, right? If you like the market to bounce, maybe crypto to go with it. Maybe this 200 SMA on MicroStrategy and that 117 level could be something you like. But I'm just not a fan of swing trading cryptocurrency, guys. Cryptocurrency is the most volatile overnight thing you could possibly hold. So it's just not really a fan of waking up at 3 a.m. with my eyes barely open and seeing alerts saying cryptocurrency is down 25% for no reason. Just not really a fan. I'm not really a fan of it. So that's why I don't really trade it. MU, 85's got to hold. That's a huge MU low. That's a huge MU low at 85. That's got to hold. You got to watch the SMH today. That's big as well. That SMH 200 SMA. See if those semiconductors can find some strength. Let's take a look at some of these retailers. Target really sort of died off on me. Walmart's not doing much. Costco's sort of interesting here lately. I would be watching Costco. Costco is still holding this 870 level. So this is sort of intriguing. If markets do find strength again, I think Costco is definitely something to monitor here off that 870 level, right? Costco's been a beast of a stock. This 870 continues to hold. If you see, holds around this 870, that's really where you'd like to be long. I'd watch that 870 closely. SMCI, SMCI broke under that low. Oh, wow. And it's actually rejecting right now. Take a look at this. So let's see what SMCI does here. This 410 level. Look at this little rejection of the previous day lows here. Look at that. 410. See this? Look at that. That's very clean. That could be scary. Yeah, I would watch this. 410 SMCI. Now, of course, I would want the semis to be weak, but yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Keep an eye on that today. Golf Nut CVX. It's really just an energy name, man. How's the energy? Has this been underperforming the energy sector by a large margin? Does the energy sector look like this? Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Golf Nut, these stocks, man, they're not really meant for, in my opinion, trading. It's either, you take advantage of the XLE with some, dividend yielding names that have, pretty much just stay sideways. Same thing with CVX. Maybe you pick it off up, you pick it up off some lows because you think it's a good value here, but you're not really trading this for, I would say, equity increasing. I mean, at least that's my opinion, right? I'd be more of like, hey, I'm long CVX. I like the dividend. I like it down at this 132, and I don't really care if it goes up at all. I just like to hold, some energy. I like to be involved in the energy sector. That's really the only reason I'd ever buy it. It's not really as an intraday trader to me. Wow. Walgreens, huh? Ouchie. 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 Damn. The once great dividend stock. Palantir's, it's still above 30. Yeah, it's still, wow, look at that. It's still holding right above our level. 29.83. That's got to hold. All right, that's got to hold. 29.83 must hold. Sitting right at it. Yeah, I was going to say, the AAP boys, you better start buying some more, you better start heading into the local AAP shop, man, because this thing's falling apart. You better start heading into the local AAP, and you better start buying some oil, and you better start buying some, taillights and mufflers and reflectors for the side of the car, maybe a couple fake vents. You better start heading in, man. They need help. AAP needs help before it goes out of business. Help it. Because it ain't looking good. Ford, guys, margin. I don't know, man. I mean, 111 maybe, right? This 11 retest. I got something at 11 for a reason. It's like 1150 here, margin. Look at this. Right here. Previous lows. New highs. Watch that. All right. I think that's about it, guys. We can go over, let's go over Netflix. What's Netflix doing? I'll go speed around through some of the tech equities that we actually watch the trade. So Netflix 670 in the 20 SMA, that's very interesting. I'd watch that today. Google, I'm not a fan of, but you can watch that 200 SMA to sort of keep this stock higher, but I'm really not a fan of it. Microsoft, I'd watch that 405. If Microsoft holds this 405, I'd be watching this, right? This is actually a big hold spot for 405, right? Keep an eye on that. So you guys can see 405, 405, 405, 405. That's a really big spot. I'd keep an eye on that 405 on Microsoft and that 410. Keep an eye there. Apple, we talked about that 220. Nice strength there today. Really nice strength on the market right now. So I would definitely not be in the boat of shorting here, guys. You can see right here. Look at that hold that's stepping up above our 18,825. So let's go through these futures one more time. Let's go through the futures one more time to get a good read on this. So right now, this is holding above 18,825. That is not a short to me, right? That is a pretty strong hold right now. So I'd be aware of that. I would not want to short into that 18,825. I would not want to short into that 457 area, 457.60 on QQQ. Definitely looks to be maintaining. S&P 500, you can see is holding above this 54.93. So that is important right now. I'm going to go ahead and put this on the charts as a green zone. And you are pushing up into that 55.14 again, which is a really big, level that I think has to break. If you break above this, you're probably going to see that continuation towards that 50 SMA. So right now, you are holding above yesterday's lows, guys, on the ES, on the NQ, on everything. I would not be looking to short into that. You can see right now that 548 level. Look how perfect that 548 level just held on the SPY. So that is very important. So that is now flipped, right? This has now flipped to me into a support, right? 548, 548. If you are above that, this could definitely start to sort of just give you that relief push, right? And maybe you get your relief push into the supply highs again, right? Maybe you just get this and we stay within this channel to end the week. That's very possible. But as of right now, you are at channel lows, and we need to be careful of shorting into those major lows right here at 18,825. I'm going to now turn this green, right? So I make sure I know that I don't want to be shorting into that, right there. Very clear. So here's your channel. Respect it. Don't short here, right? Don't long here. And let's see if we find any kind of real strength off this low today. Maybe there's a nice little, upside trade today towards those highs. Okay? All right, guys. Have a fantastic day. Have a fantastic Friday. Have a fantastic weekend. And I hope to see you guys on Monday. Peace and love. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.